But based off of Furaime's counter here, we're just a few seconds away from time to go. Oh, and there it is. An instant divergence, Wulfy starting up at the Sanctuary, Furaime going down south from Link's house.
Yeah, Wulfy's gonna give us a hula hand. From the looks of it, maybe? Yeah.
And Furaime, meanwhile, is coming right down to the dam. There's a couple things he might want in here.
That's one of them.
The best item in the game, of course. You kind of prioritize that when it's right there. And Wulfy now with a bunch of money heading over to the bomb shop here.
Oh, there's a moon pearl.
Yep, nice and free moon pearl. Wulfy gets his bombs, saves and quits. And Furaime coming out of Sanctuary going to head left over toward Kakariko.
I'll enjoy the freeness while it lasts.
Pretty much. So a real quick review of our crystals and pendants, since we aren't going to get a map check. Eastern Palace, Tower of Hera, and Turtle Rock are the three pendants, with Hera being the green pendant. Swamp and Misery Mire are the 5-6 crystals. Whether any of that is going to matter or not, you know, we'll see later. And shoutouts to the powder in Blind's Hut back here. Actually, that was just overall a pretty safety-heavy Blind's Hut. The heart container, the powder, a little bit of money to help afford probably some bombs eventually.
I mean, so far the seat's pretty standard. I mean, these are all just checks that you would do blind. These are...
I always enjoy watching people use the, throw the bomb up to go to the top of the Kakariko well when they don't have to, just off of muscle memory.
That's like a big thing, right? Like when you do these spoiler races, if you're used to playing rando, you have to fight some urges when you do a spoiler race to do it fast.
Oh, very much so. Also, I do give a little bit of credit to Wulfy. Doing that Houlihan room got him to head down to Mini Moldorm Cave on the same run to get the boots. So as much as Houlihan is a little bit slow, he has all the money that he needed for the bombs, and was able to get over to Mini Moldorm without having to do this weird double back Furaime's got stuck doing now.
Yep. Wonder why we're opening up this.
Lamp 2 free.
Yeah. I mean, like it'll be a sweet relief compared to the qualifier seeds these two runners had to play, where lamp was just not a thing.
Yeah, those qualifier seeds were not fun if you didn't know dark rooms. Now, Wulfy kind of doubling up on the checks Furaime just did over in Kakariko. He is going to open this top chest here, though. It's a nice big 20 for his efforts, grabs his glove, and then moves on. Gonna head over to probably... yeah, looks like he's gonna go over into Blindside as well right now.
So, something I noticed, there's some runners that choose to memorize which chest I have to open, and some don't. They kind of then decide, alright, this is the area where my item is at, and they just kind of just check it all until they find what they're looking for.
Yeah, there's arguments to be made both ways, for sure. If you just mark down, hey, this is where the item's at, you're checking some extra stuff, you're going to have less ammo issues, maybe a little bit more safety. Whereas if you mark exact chests, you're saving some time, but you're not going to get anything extra.
Yeah, plus also marking down exact locations can also eat into your study time, depending on how you do it. And that 15 minutes melts by really fast. Oh, and Furaime getting dead rocked.
Dead rocked with all the falling cabbages with 4 hearts. Not a great combination.
Well, there's Bombos. Now the question is, does Wulfy or does Furaime need it?
It's a good question. Also, stopped in to chat with the old man to heal himself up because those cabbages were doing some damage there. Oh, he almost just did the thing where he runs into that Dark World portal before coming in here and getting this item inside.
Oh yeah, that would have been bad.
Because hey, it's the mirror. Misses on the bomb jump, almost saved and quit, decided, no, I'll just walk around.
Now, which one is? It's probably faster to walk, right?
Yeah, compared to the save and quit time and climbing back up from Old Man, definitely a little bit quicker to walk. Not a whole lot, but...
I mean, it's probably faster just to get the bomb jump.
That bomb jump is easy to line up by the shadow if you know exactly what you're looking for. It looks like both of these two try to line up near the top, which I've always found a little bit tougher.
And Red Cane.
I really enjoy that Spectacle Rock. I mentioned it in the pre-broadcast as well, but the fact that it's like, hey, here's an item you want. Hey, here's the thing to get the item you want down below. Now both runners diving into Green Pendant Hera. Get the nice friendly big key. Furaime heading upstairs as Wulfy heads to everyone's favorite little beetle room. Furaime can go ahead and do a bomb jump over here to the big chest where he will find the cake.
I wonder why he grabbed that.
There are about 4 options. 1, Spike Cave is a thing. 2,
Yep.
he has to get something off Bumper Cave. 3, he just wants some safety. Or 4, Agony.
Get your guesses in, guys. Alright, where's Furaime's, fight.
Moldorm with vanilla equipment. Going for all dash strats isn't necessarily the quickest way to get through Moldorm, but it is safer. And they're both up here to grab the green pendant. Whether that's because they need that small key or not, well, the fact that we're getting a save and quit here tells you it's not because of that small key.
No, Wulfy.
He's only at 1 heart. If he gets hit again, that's actually a death. Of all the places you don't want to die, Moldorm is, not the worst place, but it just feels bad.
There we go.
Yep, just one with some poke strats at the end there.
Oh. Where's Furaime going?
Here comes Aghanim's Tower.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This was Agar required.
And this is a tough Aghanim. You don't really have any weapon to make this easier than vanilla, but you're sitting here at 4 hearts instead of, the expected about 6 to 7 that you have in vanilla, where you also have the bow to help you out.
It's even worse because you also don't have a Master Sword either.
Yep, and given they were given the free time to look at the logs, you can pretty safely assume that if they didn't grab a Master Sword to come in here, they went with the cape instead. They probably can't get the Master Sword beforehand, even if they want to.
Exactly.
Wulfy saying, screw these guys, and casting Bombos on the 2 ball and chain guards, which I gotta say is probably not much if any faster, but it feels a lot better. Okay, I was gonna say, the way he paused, it looked like it was just not gonna kill those guys, and I was very confused.
That would have been that would have been interesting. Be careful.
Breaks out the Bombos again. Unfortunately, the next room has a lot more menacing enemies, and he doesn't have enough magic to use Bombos again. These guys do 1 heart of damage if they hit you, so he's gotta play it safe here.
Oh, and the clutch fairy.
That was lovely.
Furaime was probably happy to see that right now.
Just a little bit. So Wulfy has gained back a little bit of ground in the tower climb here. With
Still
more
has
health,
a little. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, with more health, he could be a little bit bolder with that room and draw both guards over at once. And here we go, one thing that is not in the spoiler log. How many blue balls will Aghanim give?
You know, if I had the opportunity to add it in there, I would.
You know, the Aghanim fight is pretty much an extended cutscene. At least the mystery of how many blue balls makes you, have a little bit of something to think about while you're mindlessly sitting here.
It is very true. Yeah, I wouldn't want to take that away from people.
Imagine getting the log and knowing that it's Aghanim required and seeing 15 there and just being like, yep, I forfeit already. I just give up.
To think of it this way, your opponent can share in your misery.
That is true. These two are on the fight at the same time, slightly different phase of the fight. Got 1 blue ball, so Wulfy going into his second cycle. He'll be getting through this very soon. To answer a question in the chat, I don't believe there has ever been a race that had someone get 15. In fact, I think the only natural 15 that has ever happened was 2 times where it happened to the same person for Scrivo. But that was in vanilla, not in rando.
I think it happened to Zelda once. But that was also vanilla. Oh yeah, Sahashalo is required.
Shadow's coming here after Aghanim, where the overworld in this area gets harder for no apparent reason. And we get some flippers as well, which is really just rounding out the Aghanim starter pack, to be honest.
Yeah. Enemies get harder because you're supposed to have better equipment, which isn't really the case right now.
Well, yeah, but like, the Eastern Palace area, you have no reason in vanilla to ever go back over there, but they like load that place up with a lot of difficult stuff.
So, looks like Wulfy is going to... Nope. Never mind. I lied.
Yeah, so Furaime put his mirror portal a little bit out of the way, and then saved and quit to Link's house, ran up to the Aghanim portal. To come back this way, Wulfy just left his portal there and ran back to it. I'm not actually sure which is faster, but they're very close, considering how close they still are afterward.
It's probably negligible.
Now, Chad, if you enjoy Aghanim required seeds, well, he's bonking this lumberjack tree for a reason. It was double Aghanim required.
There's something. It's blue. I think it makes music.
And Wulfy, realizing that he did not stop a lumberjack tree on his way over, as he went to menu to the flute to call the bird. And say, that's a noteworthy amount of time lost there for kind of jumping the gun getting over here.
You said noteworthy? Or flute? Never mind.
I get it, and I give you a little bit of credit, but not too much. And there we go. We got a bird now. The bird can take us places a lot faster than we can walk there.
I mean, like, it wasn't the worst time loss.
Oh yeah, it's not a major thing, but it's definitely one of those things where, especially because you know what your next plan is, it's easier to make that kind of mistake in a spoiler race than in a regular one, I would say. And it just makes you feel bad immediately. Now we're back to diverging paths a little bit here. Wulfy has decided to not dive into Thieves' Town while Furaime runs on through it. He changed his mind and decided to go visit our dear friend Stumpy. Gets a heart container for his efforts. And then heading back to the right here, which at this point is pretty safe to say is heading to Hype Cave. 20 rupees from our friend the NPC, probably not why he came in here, nor is that 10 arrows. But that Titansmith, that's probably his reason for coming here.
Yeah, and a ton of money.
Have a nice small 600 rupees just chilling in the back there.
I think I know where he might be going next.
Heading over to the mire area, whether that's for mire stuff or desert, who knows. Head into Mire Shed where we find the hammer. Furaime is leading Blind back toward the upstairs to go fight the boss. It's a scripted fight. Furaime is far and away good enough to not have to worry about the fact that he's only got 5 hearts and green mail heading into here.
Now just stick to the script, and you're good to go.
Now once things go off script, then you kind of cry a little bit. Not a bad fight, picks up the map, and it's worth noting, with the fact that Furaime went through there and didn't grab anything outside of the necessary dungeon items, he just did that because he was right there to activate the flute anyway, figured might as well knock it out while he was there, whereas Wulfy decided to come back later, which is a little bit less convenient now, but not gonna be a pain to get back there later. I do like Furaime's routing on that, though, just getting that out of the way while you're at the flute activation area anyway.
I mean, yeah, if you feel comfortable with it, then go for it.
Wulfy here in Hookshot Cave, where he's going to get, well, a red meringue. That's probably not why he's here.
That might be why. And that really might be why.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet. Those swords are probably the reason he came here, not the boomerang.
But it's the boomerang.
Yeah, but it's a bad boomerang.
That's a matter of opinion that I agree with.
Fryman now grabbing his Titansmiths as well as a 300. Pretty safe to say with him not grabbing both 300s that Zora is not in the picture.
I think Wulfy's going to Swamp Palace.
It seems that way. Swamp Palace is not that bad for spoiler races because, you know, you get to go mode as much as possible every time. Fryman now has his hammer, also going to mirror over here, and we'll see where he heads off to next. Is he gonna dip pod?
Yeah, this is... okay.
Yeah, this is not really what I would have expected. Anyway, Wulfy continues to progress through Pod. We got Furaime heading into, or Wulfy continues to progress through Swamp while Furaime heads into Pod. I do not know the key layout of Pod offhand. But it's not bow locked. And Wulfy heading to everyone's favorite part of this game, the left side of Swamp. Hooray! Now, obviously, we're not going to be heading to the left side of Swamp for nothing. So there's got to be something over here. Furaime heading over to right side of Pod. Going to head over to the bow lock area. And he has noticed that he doesn't have bow. There goes Wulfy grabbing the Ether Medallion out of the left side of Swamp as Furaime decides to come back into Pod and use the Bottle Blade.
Yeah, that Ether Medallion being one of the entrance requirement for Misery Mire.
Wulfy, meanwhile, moving through Swamp. Furaime taking another mirror. And heading back to the back of Pod, most likely. Coming up on what'll be a very quick Argus fight, if I can remember the boss's name.
Argus.
The boss has 3 R's in his name for some reason.
So, Furaime dipped into Pod, grabbed the big key, and then is now leaving.
Now he is heading over to this area right here with a certain magic bat, which he's making a little bit of a beeline for.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people are putting 2 and 2 together right now. This is going to be costly.
Yep, and there is the bow that Furaime definitely thought he had already grabbed when he had his Pod.
That's unfortunate. I mean,
Yeah, that's.
sorry,
Go ahead.
I know it's not going to completely kill him, but it's definitely going to set him back. Like any type of lead he had over Wulfy, I think is pretty much evaporated now.
Yeah, and he's he kind of gave back that time from Wulfy thinking he had the flute already, plus a little bit beyond that. Probably if he had just done the mirror out of the right side of Pod instead of doing Bottle Glitch to begin with, that would have been it. But or if he had mirrored out a Pod on accident, that would have been about the same time. But adding and having to go back for the bow later definitely adds up.
Yeah, The good news is that he was smart enough to just keep his mirror portal there and then come back to that. So he didn't have to go all the way through the maze to get back into pod, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it definitely helped a little bit.
Yeah. And sometimes that's also what it's about. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, right? But it's how you recover and how you think through it. Because like you can make a mistake and you can make it even worse by basically not reacting appropriately to it.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is let yourself get tilted because, oh, I did something dumb. You want to just roll with the punches and be like, you know what? Okay, let's do it anyway.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and leave the dungeon. We'll leave a mirror spot. We'll go grab our item. And we'll come back. You know, that's kind of what you just have to think at that point. And I think Furaime realized it earlier, but decided just to go ahead and... I think he noticed it once he, like, mirrored out, and then decided just to go and go back and then use the bottle. I think that's kind of where he made that decision, just to how he was going to fix it. I'd say it's a pretty good recovery.
Definitely pretty good recovery, and you could definitely see it in the menu. When he got to that right side of pod, right as he was coming to the walls of the mimics, he menued and kind of froze for a moment, and you could tell he was looking for the bow and like, oh, it's not here.
Alright, now Furaime is hammering out his differences with Helmasaur King.
This is going to be a little bit harder fight for him than Wulfy, since Wulfy took the time to go get Tempered Sword. He's just going to need 4 slashes on phase 2, versus Furaime needing these arrows or hammer hits or a bunch of Fighter Sword spins.
There we go. He's low on arrows now, but at least Helmasaur King is dead.
Exactly. Death back there is far worse than anything else, and hey, we find the 4th sword. So for Furaime, that's a Master Sword. For Wulfy, when he gets here, that'll be Butter, which will trivialize literally every other boss in the game. And that is a full confirmation on the fact that you absolutely had to come to the Dark World through Aghanim to get anything beyond Fighter Sword, because, yeah, 1 was on Helmasaur, 2 were in Hookshot Cave.
Alright, now Furaime and Wulfy are trading places. Furaime is now going into Swamp Palace.
But I'd say, practically speaking, they are... Or, Furaime appears to be a little bit ahead, nothing major. Wulfy, you got the Cane of Samari. You could have just put a block on the switch there, buddy. But, Furaime is probably a little bit ahead, since he's gonna have part of Swamp done, as well as all of Thieves Town, Pod, and Hera by the time Wulfy's got Pod, Hera, and all of Swamp done. But not a huge amount ahead.
Yeah, I still see Furaime probably... Yeah, I see Furaime going to Hookshot Cave at some point. You don't want to... If you have Tempered Sword at your disposal, you really want to use it, especially if it's along the way.
Oh yeah, you know, you could make an argument for skipping Butter, but with it being literally right next to Tempered Sword, not so much. But you're definitely going to grab Tempered for the time investment of going to Hookshot Cave, because Ganon alone will save that time. Furaime heading into the back of Swamp right now. Gonna grab a few arrows out of that pot there. Nice bit of knowledge to be able to know there were arrows there and grab them.
Yeah, resource management is a big deal in spoiler races. Even more so than regular blind rando.
Yeah, with how many bombs and arrows are in chests, and blind rando, you're usually getting more than enough just by opening stuff at random. With spoiler races, that doesn't really happen. Also, Furaime. Okay, he's coming back here. Gonna go upstairs. I think I know what happened here. Pauses for a moment. Hook shots across. He's trying to figure out. He appears to have mismarked where Ether was. So now he kind of puts it together.
I mean, this is something that I've seen countless number of times of this type of issue happening.
Yeah, 15 minutes is enough time to put something together, but it's not enough time to proofread. If you make a mistake, you're likely not catching it until you open that chest and go, huh, that's not what I thought it was. Wulfy coming into Ice Palace with Bombos, gonna make his way through here a bit. So Furaime has made it through left side. This was a little bit slower for him, not just because of heading to the back first, but also since he had to use that key to go to the back instead of being able to use it to make going left a little bit quicker. Nothing major, but this is kind of... things do add up, death of 1,000 cuts, so to speak, and Furaime's had a few cuts in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so.
It's all still recoverable. There we go. So, yeah. When you're reading the log, the big key chest and the big chest are two different things. And it's kind of important. So, I found, I don't want to get too off topic here, but the ALTTP Randomizer Discord has a, there's a resource for basically a list of all the spoiler log locations with pictures, which can be very helpful if you're trying to do one of these races.
For sure, or even if you're just newer to the randomizer and just want to learn it, jumping in and looking at that is a huge help for being able to understand what is what. Furaime grabbing another set of arrows to make up for those ones used on Helmasaur, and Wulfy heading over here to the right side of Ice Palace. And hey, as if the Aghanim requirement for 2 reasons wasn't enough, as if Green Pendant Hookshot wasn't enough, here, have Fire Rod on the right side of Ice Palace. Oh, that phase 1 of Argus by Furaime there was just fantastic. That is not easy to do with Master Sword.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So, that's some good NMG strats right there.
Oh, that's not even NMG strats. That's beyond NMG. That's low percent.
Oh, that's right, because you have tempered by now.
Yep, despite the developers listing Swamp as dungeon number 2, if you're gonna speedrun the game, it's dungeon number, 5.
All right, Wulfy's heading to probably what's going to be the scariest boss probably of this run. But with the Butter Sword, it's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, if he was on Master Sword like Furaime, this is scary, but with Butter, Cold Stare will die before he has a chance to do anything.
Speaking of which, Furaime is going to dive into Ice Palace with Master Sword.
Gonna stop into the ferry here. Oh, Lord. Wulfy. Wulfy, please. Miss the slash to get him into the corner, and things got a little bit worrisome there for a moment.
Yeah, that was a little bit scary.
Thankfully, with Butter, each puff takes 3 slashes to kill. So by the time that he ran out of cape, he already had 2 puffs down, which was a very, very good use of that cape.
Now, I think Wulfy's in go mode. I think he has everything he needs to finish the game.
Yep, and Furaime is just the fire rod away, so we'll be getting that here soon. Looks like Wulfy's going to do Thieves Town and Skull Woods, Thieves Town first, so we'll get a direct feel for where these two are in relation to each other very soon. Gotta love when those little red Zazak dudes decide, hey, I'm just gonna hang out right underneath this platform where you're trying to jump down, because you don't need to get down here without taking damage, right?
There, first try.
Wulfy heads to the back of Thieves Town. You know, I'm actually curious about one thing real quick.
Oh?
One thing that I think, it doesn't really apply in this case, but one thing that I at least haven't seen in the matches I've seen, I don't know if you've seen something I haven't, is I just kind of realized looking at where the small key for Thieves Town is actually pretty valuable, even if you don't need big chests. Because you might be able to save some time from having to run all the way to the back by the boss room at the start there, just skipping ahead.
Yeah, I could see that.
In this case, though, after looking back at the log, the small key is in the big chest, so that wasn't very doable. Furaime getting one of my favorite little bugs, where if you crush a pot and step on the switch underneath it on the same frame, the game doesn't really know what to do, and it just leaves the pot there and also activates the switch and turns off collision for the pot. Wulfy grabbing a fairy, bringing the maiden down, and he'll be heading into blind just a bit after Furaime gets into Cold Stare. Cold Stare is going to be a relatively tough fight with Master Sword here, but he's got a decent amount of fire rod shots to use to make it a little bit quicker.
Oh, this is actually looking Yeah, that was pretty good.
And that was a very nice cold stare kill. Wulfy gets blind down. They're going to be picking up crystals and holding them over their head at about the same time. And I would give the slightest edge to Wulfy right now because he's already near Skullwood. So we got ourselves a race, folks. These two are within probably 30 seconds of each other.
Maybe we'll have our first tie of the tournament.
Maybe, although Wulfy is going to be saving time from here on out. He's going to have a little bit quicker Vitreous fight. He's going to have a little bit quicker Mothula fight. Lambo should be the same because they're probably going to use Fire Rod on him, but it might be a little bit quicker from initial spin.
So Furaime is going into... Yeah, he's not going to have anything beyond Master Sword, and he's not going to have Silvers either. I will say that they're not in here. So, yeah, this is going to be, I think, a fairly tough... Probably not the hardest Vitreous fight, but it's going to be up there.
Yeah, he's got Cape. That really helps with Master Sword Vidi. You can just Cape up and then spam Sword Slash, and your magic doesn't drain very much, and you kill the eyeballs relatively quick. But it's still a lot slower than doing that exact same thing with Butter. And for those who don't know the base game all that detailed, Gold Sword in Vanilla doesn't hurt Mothula because it's the same damage class as Spikes. So in Vanilla, in Rando, they changed it so that Gold Sword is just Tempered Sword in the Mothula fight.
By the way, Wulfy just like deleted Mothula right there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, after my races earlier, I'm envious of having a, good equipment Mothula fight, but he killed. There's the vanilla big key in Misery Mire after everyone's favorite little cutscene that, nothing really moves, but you have to sit there and wait anyway.
I hear it's the exact same duration as the cutscene in Pod.
It absolutely is. It just feels a million times longer because nothing's happening. So they're both in the same dungeon for the first time in quite a while.
Oh, right. Giving us some spooky action from a distance.
That's like the main reason to bother grabbing the lamp in one of these seeds, is just to be able to do spooky action. Although he didn't go for the last shot, he wanted that magic for Vidi. He's actually going for Cape Spins over Cape Slashes. He runs out of magic pretty quick, and now he's got all these arrows to shoot the eyes, try to finish him off with. Looks like most of them just need one more arrow.
There we go. 8 more to the eye. And there's Vitreous. And
Yeah,
the superior
very nice
boomerang.
kill.
There's the superior boomerang.
And look at that, by not picking up that red boomerang earlier, Furaime just, has the blue boomerang equipped. So much better. Now going to mirror over, take on Desert. Land mode, not really an issue with the equipment loadout that these guys have. With that little dash there before putting the Samaria block down, Wulfy is also set up for some spooky action, so we'll see round 2 of that here.
There we go.
This is like my favorite glitch, and not just because it was discovered like extremely recently. It just looks so clean when you pull it off nicely.
It's like magic. Alright. There we go.
Wulfy's cape ran out, and oh, he still got the 0 cycle. Very nice.
There we go.
So, a little note to anyone not aware of it: the first phase of Vitreous before his first lightning is a set time. So, if you kill all the eyes before the first lightning, it doesn't matter if you get it right before the ooze starts coming off them or, right away. You're going to be waiting the same amount of time. So he had a minimal length of Vitreous fight through phase 1 there. Furaime with a very nice Land Molo's kill, using the Fire Rod for a good chunk of the hits, and then wrapping up with some Master Sword spins, which are a little bit more powerful than slashes, which do the same as the Fighter Sword.
Alright, so Furaime has to finish up Skullwoods. Wulfy needs to finish Desert Palace. Once they pick up their crystals, we'll have a good beat on who's ahead. I'm suspecting, though, it's Wulfy at this time.
Yeah, it won't be by much, but almost certainly just a tiny bit ahead. And of course, when Furaime does go up Death Mountain to go to GT, he's gonna stop in Hookshot Cave and take the time to grab those 2 swords. It's worth noting, though, that even with the bow mistake with Pod, even with the little bit of awkward routing in Swamp, this is still stupidly close. Like, Furaime has been playing very well to keep it this close, despite all those little mistakes.
Well, I mean, it just seems like he's been keeping it together. Like, even when, like we were saying before, like, he hasn't been put on tilt by any of this. Like, he just goes through. Like, yeah, I made a derp. Let's just continue. That's the attitude you really have to have in order to be successful at Randomizer.
If the more time you spend thinking I've lost, the more likely you are to lose. Wulfy going for the Waffle House there, and just kind of jumps off the edge. Moth is not being friendly to Furaime there, but gets him down.
Alright. Alright, so, kind of give some guesses maybe where it's at, the big key. No numbers, just item locations. Oh, and by the way, there was our ice rod, but we don't need it.
But what if... No, I can't even think of anything.
Ah. This is all dungeons we would have needed it.
There's one. Or maybe if it was like overworld glitch and Trinex had the silvers and could just jump right to them. Wulfy's opening up Ganon's Tower as Furaime climbs Death Mountain.
Alright. Yeah, once Furaime enters Ganon's Tower, we'll have a read on what the time difference is.
Well, he grabs a small key from the right side and then heads to the left, so chances are it's not in Compass Room, or this would be a little bit insane.
Alright, so Furaime is going to go for those swords. Which then makes me think that something else is probably not going to get picked up.
Yeah, probably not. Also, I'm surprised Wulfy switched to Kane in the double switch room here instead of switching over to the blue boomerang and just using regular NMG movement through that room. With this warp, it's heading straight to Rando Room. You're never going to take those warps if you aren't trying to go in here.
Oh, is he? I think he is. Yeah, there's one more item I think he's going for.
He does appear to be going for it. I think maybe he knows that he's a little bit ahead and wants to minimize the risk of mistake.
I could see that at this point. So, yeah. This is the most secure location in all Hyrule. Except during a spoiler race.
There they are, the silver arrows hidden in Ganon's own big chest.
That didn't actually cost a whole lot of time to get, it seemed like. And I think he could probably make up that, whatever time he lost there, he's going to make up on Ganon. Because of the silvers.
Yeah, and if not fully made up, then at the very least it's very close and you do have the extra safety for the fight. Furaime about to grab his big key. We'll see if he does the same thing or if he decides, I don't have time to grab these, I'm just going straight forward.
And it looks like he's in a bail.
Yep, so silverless for Furaime will add about 35 to 45 seconds, most likely to Ganon. So that's kind of something to look to later on as we approach the end here. It is worth a reminder, this is game 3 between these two, after two very well-matched games to begin the series. They're tied up in game 3, and winner moves on to face everybody's, least feared, and by least I mean most feared opponent, Kyong, and the loser will unfortunately be eliminated.
It's such a great prize. But no. Hey, I'd feel honored to play against Keon. But that's me.
Oh yeah, I love to play the people who I'm afraid of. It's like my half of the bracket in this tournament has Crystal Zoan and Pika Pals both in it, and it would be cool to race both of them. Even though I would lose terribly.
Keon giving us the eyes emoji.
And Wulfy is through Gauntlet, through Lamo 2. He is already up in the mini Helmosaur room, heading on toward the Worm Part 2. Now, Worm Part 1 knocked him off the ledge once. He's gonna hope that the second version doesn't do the same.
No magic, Wulfy. You don't need it anyway.
Furaime set up for the triple spin. By waiting in that room a little bit, the cycle of the Laomolus gets thrown off. He waited just long enough where if he walked in the room and did a spin in the center of the three Lamo, it would hit all three of them. The goal is to double hit, but it's very RNG based, so you can actually get a triple double hit on that. Here we go into Aga 2. Furaime heading into Torches 1. This is, Wulfy's race to lose, so to speak, but it's not a race that it's hard to lose. It wouldn't take a whole lot of mistakes to give Furaime full catch-up time.
One Ganon fall, a death. I don't know what he has for safeties left, like potions.
I think he's got a green potion still.
But he does have silvers and butter sword.
Yeah, butter sword practically guaranteeing the 1-in-1 cycle, and the silvers making phase 4 nice and straightforward. Which is another bit to note. Do make note that there is about a 40-second difference between these two that you can't see in the form of silvers versus not. Kept dashing even after he got himself misaligned with Ganon there and had enough hits already, just to keep practicing.
Alright, now Wulfy's in phase 3.
Then Furaime making quick work of Aga 2 so far, and that is done there. So they're gonna be very close to each other at the end here, yet again. This has been a super close series of races.
Not quite the triple, but there we go.
And Wulfy with the nice clean Ganon. As long as he doesn't walk off the ledge instead of the bridge here, that'll be GG and a series victory for Wulfy as Furaime drops into Ganon.
Alright. And Wulfy has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, 42 seconds, if I'm doing math correctly.
That seems right.
I should have the bot post like the time minus 15 minutes, like after a runner finishes. But all right, so Furaime is also now on Ganon.
Yep, just got through phase 3, and now it's to go through the much more difficult Silverless battle. Well, I guess difficult isn't the right word. It's not that much harder, it's just a lot slower. Furaime using the Fire Rod to be able to set up triple hits on Ganon. Makes this phase a lot quicker with Silverless if you are getting triples instead of the usual doubles that are kind of easier to get. There is hit number 12 for Furaime, wrapping up the race.
Alright. And Furaime has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, 34 seconds.
And at about the same time, we are joined by Wulfy, our winner. GG, Wulfy. Welcome.
Hey, good game. All very close.
Oh, yes, it was. So, what did you think about the seed?
That was a little convoluted to route. So, about 10 to 15 minutes into that seed, I realized that the route I had written out ahead of time was not going to work at all, and I had to rearrange things during the middle of the run. So that threw a few things off. Was caught off guard by the need to use the hook shot to do the whole loop around the dark world.
That made sense. That's why we saw. Okay. That's we figured maybe what happened there.
And yeah, that one little hiccup where you ran to the weather vane before picking up the flute from Lumberjack. But other than that, it was pretty smooth, it seemed, for having to reroute midway like that.
Yeah, and I'm just really glad I didn't die, considering green mail and how little health there was in that seed in general.
I think I'd have to imagine the scariest moment for you was that Cult Slayer fight where he just got out of the corner immediately and was like, "Hey, buddy!"
Yeah, I've not gotten down a method to time the spin if I use Bombos to break the shell. I have a good method for it if I use Fire Rod, but I don't know what to do with Bombos, really.
That makes sense. And I know Furaime has mentioned it a little bit in the SRL chat, but the main difference here was a couple of hiccups routing-wise on his side. Went to pod before grabbing the bow, got to the Mimic Room, went to turn to the bow, realized he didn't have it, mirrored out, went back through and bottle glitched to get the big key while he was there. And then Swamp Palace mixed up big chest and big key chest, and grabbed the big key, went open the big chest, got a heart container, and stood there for a moment like,
Yeah, the big chest versus big key chest distinction is definitely something that's trolled me during my practice runs.
Yeah, one of those things that if you had, 20, 25 minutes where you could proofread everything that you did, yeah, you could probably never make that mistake. In 15 minutes where you gotta kind of rush it, yeah, it's gonna happen.
So I wonder if it turned out to be worthwhile to take that big diversion up Death Mountain to get 2 swords early. Did we both do that?
Furaime put that off until like before Ganon's Tower. Those two swords. That you were
Okay,
talking about.
yeah. It'd be more efficient movement-wise, but I figured the swords would probably pay for themselves on bosses and such.
I mean, that's what it seemed like.
And a quick shout out, Furaime has joined us in chat. GG to you as well, Furaime.
Oh yeah, GG Furaime.
And yeah, it became real difficult to tell if that going up there for the swords really paid off. Because of the routing hiccups on Furaime's side, it's tough to tell if the time save was really a big difference maker or if that was kind of the difference maker. It's probably a lot easier of a run for you having got them earlier, though.
I was just not very excited at the prospect of fighting Cold Stare with Green Mail, 5 Hearts, and Fighter Sword.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's not a very fun fight. Also, I wanted to ask this as well. Did you have the restream up and know that you were ahead in GT, or did you just go get the silvers because they aren't that far out of the way?
I just figured the silvers would save time. I don't actually watch the restream just because I want to keep distractions to a minimum while I'm doing these.
Oh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, we were kind of, before the race, a little bit not sure if it was in the way enough where it would save time or out of the way just enough where you would be losing time to get them. So I was curious what your mindset was on going for them.
It's probably borderline, but I don't know, maybe it saved like 5-10 seconds. I'd have to actually time it to find out, but it's all just guessing.
Alright. So, do you have any final thoughts? Looking forward, and also, are you looking forward to your match with Keong?
Should be interesting. Hopefully we can put on as good of a show as we did for this best of 3.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, it looks like you did a 70 out of 216. Which kind of felt right for about what the seed made you to do.
So what would you guys say went wrong for me on the second game, if you guys remember it at this point? I know I was having some execution difficulties, suffering from some nerves during that run.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'll preface it with that. I only saw bits and pieces, but that's what it seemed like to me, at least. But yeah, I didn't have the full picture.
Well, I'll be watching the VOD and finding out.
Yeah, I had woken up and was getting some food. It seemed like routing-wise, from what I caught, you and Furaime played C2 pretty similar. So yeah, it looks like it was probably just little hiccups execution-wise, but I don't have quite enough on it to say for sure specific. Well, that's actually a rather drastic difference in collection rate there. 70 for Wulfy and 61 for Furaime.
Well, alright, so Wulfy, it seems like and correct me if I'm wrong here, but are you more of a player that just says, alright, my item is in this area, and you just open chests until you find it, or do you actually try to note which chest it's actually in?
Well, it depends on how long the seed takes to road in general, but if there's a bunch of chests right next to each other, figuring out exactly which ones I need to open is generally my lowest priority when I'm planning my route. So often I just don't get around to it. And sometimes I'll try to do it on the fly while I'm on my way there, but I can't always read it fast enough.
Oh, that's fair. It's like I see that some players do it one way versus another, and it's just kind of curious. So, I think, Mentos, man, we want to wrap this up?
We could do that. So, quick shout out to both these runners, Furaime and Wulfy. If you guys enjoyed what you saw today, give them both a follow. One of them, Furaime, is leaving the tournament today, but these two are both fantastic at this game. I would have been terrified to face either of them. I don't know how they ended up in the middle of the seating. It is not where they belonged. So, give these guys a follow. They're both fantastic.
Oh, indeed. And thank you so much, Furaime, for playing. We very much appreciate it. We hope to see you next season, next year. Yeah, thank you so much. That's all I have to say. So what's going on tomorrow? We have a ton of races tomorrow. We have at least 8. We have a 9th on the schedule that isn't going to get restreamed, but we have at least 8. We got Salty Fries and Mentos Man's Game 3 at 10 a.m. on Speed Gaming 3. At 1:30, we've got Ninban versus GamerCal on SG5, and Asda versus Christos Owen on Speed Gaming 4. Both of those are also going, well, Ninban and GamerCal is a doubleheader, and Asda versus Christos Owen is a triple header. And we also, later on in the day, we have James FNX versus Gerdo on SG3, and that's at 3:15 p.m. So we have a loaded out schedule of spoiler races tomorrow that none of you should miss.
Yeah, it is going to be a fun day if you're enjoying this tournament. I will also give a quick shout out to an upcoming race in this same channel here. There's a race for the Zelda 1 Rando All Boards No Swords tournament. Yes, it is a swordless Z1 Rando between also and Adaginos. I don't know how to pronounce that for sure. Coming up on this channel next. That is going to be a interesting run. If you guys haven't caught that tournament, it's a very interesting randomizer setup.
Oh, there's also a Zelda 1, Metroid 1 combo randomizer. That's not the Super Metroid Link to the Past. No, this is Z1 and M1. That's happening right now on Speed Gaming 4. And that's about an hour in.
So with general schedule stuff pretty much wrapped up, I want to give a shout out to our tracker, if I'm reading this correctly, Dimensive, who has been on for the past 2 races, as well as to my co-commentator, Synac. It was fun to work with you.
Oh, absolutely. I look forward to doing that again. I'll probably be commenting your race tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. I wish you the best of luck tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it was, hopefully we'll not have to run through a whole seed on, 4 hearts this.
Oh, but that was entertaining.
True.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've been Synac, and I've been joined by
Mentos Man 8, and we hope you have a lovely night.
Good night.